In the vast silence of the open ocean, where humanity once tested the limits of engineering, ambition, and destiny, two giants now stand in contrast. One name echoes through history, a legend shaped by tragedy, a ship the world thought it would never see again. Titanic, Miyun, and rising from the modern world, a floating metropolis engineered without limits, towering over every ship ever built, icon of the seas. Two vessels separated by time, by purpose, by vision, but both ask the same question: what does it mean to rule the ocean? Today, we explore that answer. Humanity rarely brings the past back to life. But in 2012, the world was stunned. Australian billionaire Clive Palmer announced the rebirth of the most famous ship ever constructed, Titanic II. A ship rebuilt not to replace the original, but to honor it. Titanic II was designed as a near-authentic recreation. The same iconic bow, the same grand staircase, the same majestic silhouette slicing through the Atlantic wind. But behind the nostalgia was cutting-edge engineering, advanced radars, state-of-the-art navigation, full lifeboat coverage, a reinforced double hull, digital safety control rooms, modern communication towers. Titanic II would carry 2,500 passengers, 900 crew members, and recreate the original 1912 route, Southampton to New York. But there was something deeper happening. People weren't excited just because it was a ship. They were excited because it was the Titanic, a story of hope, of loss, of human ambition colliding with fate. Titanic II became more than an engineering project. It became an emotional symbol, a chance to finish a journey that history interrupted. But the dream struggled. Funding challenges, political tensions, global pandemics. Each year pushed the launch further away. And today, Titanic II exists in a strange space between reality and myth. Not canceled, not completed, simply waiting. Waiting for the world to let it sail again. While Titanic II battles uncertainty, a different colossus has already conquered the ocean. In 2024, Royal Caribbean unveiled a vessel unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Icon of the Seas. A ship so enormous, so technologically advanced, that it redefines what a cruise ship even is. Icon isn't merely built for travel. It is built to be a city on water. Its statistics feel almost unreal. 365 meters long, 20 decks high, up to 7,600 passengers, 2,350 crew members, over 250,000 gross tons, a full water park, neighborhoods, parks, plazas, concerts, multiple pools overlooking the horizon. This is not a ship that sails the ocean. This is a ship that dominates it. Icon of the Seas is a technological statement that humanity has reached a point where building the biggest in history is no longer an ambition. It is a routine. Let's put the two giants side by side. Size: Titanic II, 56,000 tons. Icon of the Seas, 250,000 tons, 5 times heavier. Titanic II is a recreation. Icon is a floating skyscraper. Passengers: Titanic II, 2,500. Icon of the Seas, 7,600. Icon carries the population of a small town. Height: Titanic II, 53 meters. Icon of the Seas, nearly 80 meters. Speed: Titanic II, 21 knots. Icon of the Seas, 22 knots. Despite being 5 times bigger, Icon moves almost the same speed, a testament to 21st century propulsion technology. Safety: Titanic II, double hull, radar iceberg detection, advanced lifeboats, satellite navigation. Icon of the Seas, LNG hybrid engines, stabilization systems, Fire-isolated compartments, AI-powered navigation, automated monitoring systems. One looks backward with respect. The other looks forward with force. Titanic II, an icon of the seas, belong to two different human instincts. Titanic II speaks to emotion. It's about history, memory, tragedy, and the desire to complete an unfinished story. People don't love Titanic II because it's big. They love it because it's meaningful. Icon of the Seas, however, speaks to ambition. It is massive, overwhelming, powerful. A structure built simply because humanity can. People don't admire Icon because of its past. It has none. They admire it because of what it represents. The future. These two ships don't compete in the same category. One battles for the heart, the other battles for the record books. This question haunts the project. Some believe Titanic II will never become reality. Others believe it must, because the world needs a physical symbol of history revived. But the truth is this: Titanic II may not need to sail to be unforgettable. It is already a global discussion, a dream kept alive by the millions of people who still feel something when they say the word Titanic. Meanwhile, Icon of the Seas is fully operational, taking passengers on journeys they never imagined, across floating theme park and ocean skyscrapers. Titanic II is a story. Icon of the Seas is an experience. If the measure is emotion, Titanic II wins. If the measure is innovation, Icon of the Seas dominates. If the measure is scale, engineering, and commercial success, Icon stands unmatched. But if the measure is legacy, Titanic II does not even need to launch to win. One ship is the past reborn. The other is the future realized. One is shaped by memory, the other by ambition. And together, they represent everything humanity has ever been. A species that remembers, a species that builds, a species that never stops dreaming. So as the waves continue to rise and fall, as new ships are built, as old legends return, one truth remains: the ocean will always carry our greatest stories, and whether it is the rebirth of a legend or the rise of a technological giant, the age of the ocean titans has only just begun.